Hi everyone, welcome to Digitate webinar. We have VS over here and our main speaker, Dr. Maitreya, is stuck with some technical issues, but we are hoping he'll be here in 2 minutes. So these days, we all are falling in love with AI, and hence it makes complete sense to have this session today. A very interesting session on AI powered insights. But let us give our audience a couple of minutes to join in. And meanwhile, I'm going to play a video for you, which is about our company, Digitate. And
The role of enterprise leaders is evolving faster than ever. As a business leader, you need to innovate, scale, build resiliency, deliver business assurance, and meet customer demands at an accelerated pace. Organizational silos, manual processes, and complex systems increase downtime and decrease employee productivity, putting revenue and customer experience at risk. Your answer is an autonomous enterprise built on context, intelligence, and automation. At Digitate, we have pioneered a SaaS-based autonomous platform with a unique closed-loop approach, leveraging artificial intelligence and machine learning to transform IT and business operations from reactive to proactive. Our award-winning platform, Ignio, helps you monitor the health of your business systems and applications, automate at speed and scale, resolve major outages autonomously, enhance end-user experience, and deliver business outcomes. Today, leading global brands use Digitate's autonomous enterprise platform to increase productivity, improve availability, and capacity, protect revenue, and reduce operational risks. Lead your enterprise into the autonomous future with Digitate.
over to you, VS. I think Maitreya is also in.
Wonderful.
So let's get started.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sally. Thanks for playing the video. And I think, are we on the first slide? Okay. Hey, folks, first of all, before I start this presentation, I just wanted to extend very sincere apologies. It's Valentine's Day, and for all those people who are in India, it is the Valentine's Day evening as such. So I'm extremely sorry about it. It so happens that our company has every second Wednesday of the month, we have a webinar, and we kind of run that webinar as a clockwork. So that's the reason why we're here. So please don't give any flack to Dr. Maitreya Nathu. Okay, he was not involved in that decision making. In fact, he was suggesting that we don't have a webinar. And just by the way, if in case anybody has any programs, please go ahead. This webinar is also being recorded. And with that, I might be the first webinar presenter who's telling people not to watch it live. But anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is VS Joshi. I'm the Global Head of Product Marketing here at Digitate. And today with me, we have Dr. Maitreya Nathu. Dr. Maitreya Nathu, he is also the Chief Data Scientist at Digitate. He has a PhD in computer science. He has written more than 50 papers in international journals and things like that. And he has multiple patents. And we are very, very honored to have Dr. Maitreya Nathu on the call. Maitreya, welcome to the webinar. I'm glad you were able to get in.
Thank you, VS.
Okay. Cool. So I think before we dive into the webinar and the topic at hand, let me quickly introduce Digitate for all those people who don't know about Digitate. So can you move to the next slide, Sam? Okay, let me move here. Okay. So as you saw in the video, we are one of the industry-leading SaaS-based AIOps platform, and we essentially use AI, machine learning, and automation to transform customers' operations across their IT and business operations. And the goal is to make their operations autonomous operations. And what we've done is we have a portfolio of products and solutions that we bring to the marketplace. The portfolio of products and solutions are essentially in various domains: IT operations, ERP domain, batch management, and workspace, digital workspace. And in all these domains, we have introduced AI, machine learning, and automation through our platform, through our portfolio of products, and that is what delivers business resiliency, agility, and superior customer experience to our customers. Now, we have more than 270 customers, and almost all of these customers are global 2000 customers. And so you saw at the end of the video, you saw a couple of big names like Avis and NG, and we have Walgreens and J&J. These are some of the big brand names that we have. And again, as I mentioned, most of them are global 2000 companies. Now, this particular space, AIOps space, is an emerging space, and it is a very it's an up and coming space, and almost each and every analyst firm covers this particular space of AIOps. And all these AIOps analysts, they have always rated Digitate in their leadership position. Or if in case it is a wave, Forrester has a Forrester wave, so Forrester wave also has put us in a very in a very good position in Forrester wave too. So whether you take EMA, whether you take Omdia or Gartner, all these analyst firms, they have given us a lot of kudos and a lot of good ratings for our AIOps solution. But it is not the but what we really pride ourselves is the are the comments that we get from our customers. And there are all these leading tech review platforms like the G2 platform, TrustRadius platform, Gartner peer review. And at all these places, our customers, they have gone there proactively, and they have given a good review of our product, of our solution. And you will see that the average rating is about 4.4 from out of 5. So it's a pretty significant rating that our customers have given, and we really take pride in those ratings that our customers. I encourage you to go and visit this tech review platforms and see the compliments that we have received from our customers. And again, I think in fact, yes, my our press our PR person kind of asked me to mention that yes, we have almost like 19 leadership badges on the G2 platform. So there you go, Irene. And yes, at the bottom you will see the list of awards and that we have received in the last 6-7 months or so. Yeah, so I think so. Again, as I mentioned, we are one of the leading AIOps platform. And moving on to the next slide. So okay, so some of you might even be new to AIOps. So let me quickly define AIOps. You'll see on the left hand side. Essentially, AIOps is the application of AI and machine learning to IT operations to make sense of the cross-domain data, number one, to derive insights, to predict and to prevent certain events that we don't want to happen, and to automate their remediation. So that is the basic definition of AIOps, application of AI and machine learning to IT operations. Now, we talk about AIOps in terms of these three broad pillars. If you look at the marketplace, you will see a lot of companies which are observability companies and automation companies and AI companies. With our Ignio platform, we bring all these three things together and the three pillars together. And that is the reason why we can provide unified observability, that is, provides the vertical visibility, horizontal visibility. We can provide AI-powered insights, and we can also provide closed-loop automation. Closed-loop automation is essentially, we not just give you recommendations, but we also give you the tools by which you can just automate the remediation of certain things. Yeah. So this is, in a very nutshell, this is what Digitate does, leading in AIOps platform, and these are the broad areas in which we play. Okay. Now, moving on, again, I'm just going to speak for another 2 slides, and then I'm going to introduce Maitreya to speak about AI-powered insights. So if you look at the trends in the data, you will see that the amount of data that is growing, the pace at which it is growing, is absolutely humongous. Here you can see this is a graph that we have from Statista. By 2025, the amount of data is supposed to be in terms of 170 or so zettabytes. And last year again we had about 156 zettabytes or so. And just to give you a perspective over here, the amount of data that was there in 2003, the data that was there from the start of the humanity to 2003, was about 0.005 zettabytes. And today we are generating data in terms of 170 plus zettabytes or so. So the amount of data that is being generated is humongous. To make sense of this data becomes more and more difficult. And because it becomes more and more difficult, this is where AI comes into picture. And you can see it's not only the data, overall data, but all the enterprises, they are drowning in data. They are drowning in data. They are struggling to uncover the actionable insights from data. And yes, in today's competitive world, turning your data into intelligence, that is the essence, that is essential for success. So this is where AI comes into picture, and that is the reason why hear a lot of things about. You have been hearing a lot of things about AI and Gen AI. The conversation is no longer how we can define AI or how we scope, but it is all about how we can scope, how we can deploy, how we can have pilots running, how we can have experimentation, how we can have production, how we can have AI, Gen AI in the production, in production. So and how we can realize the business value and benefits from AI. That is where the conversation has shifted to. Again, I think since November 2022, you must have heard a lot about ChatGPT when OpenAI introduced ChatGPT to the world. But even before that, almost 50% of the CIOs who were interviewed by Gartner, they said that their organization has already deployed AI technologies. About 50%, you can see 33% have already deployed, and 15% were going to deploy in that particular year as such. So again, so this is all about AI. And now we have another thing that is going on. This is generative AI. Again, it is old, but the difference is Gen AI is a type of AI that can generate new things. I mean, AI can be about finding a needle in a haystack, but generative AI is about generating new forms of content, whether it is text, whether it is audio, whether it is code, whether it is images, whether it is simulations, or whether it is a chemical formulation. It's all about generating new things. And Gen AI investments, and many executives are making Gen AI investments not just in one business function, they are making in multiple business function. If you look at this Gartner graph, you will see that 45% of the business heads and the CXO people, they are making investment in Gen AI, running projects in Gen AI in in multiple business functions, whether it is sales, marketing, customer experience, whether it is HR, legal, finance, whatever it is. Not just one particular place where they're running a pilot, but it is across the board they're doing all these things. It has become a C-suite and a board level strategic priority at this point in time. And again, as you and again, here also you will see the impact of Gen AI is when it comes to customer facing functions like sales, marketing, customer service. Yes, 47% of the investments are going there. And yes, 30% of the functions are going in IT functions. So we talk about software development, AIOps and DevOps and things like that. That is the place where Gen AI is coming into picture. And yes, then there are other functions like HR, legal, finance, and other functions where investments are being made. So yes, so with this introduction to Digitate with AI and to generative AI, I'm going to hand it over to Maitreya to take us through the interesting journey of AI-powered insights. Over to you, Maitreya.
Thank you, VS. Hello, all. Thank you for joining this session. Today, we are going to talk about um, AI powered insights and how these insights can be used in IT operations to enable data driven decision making. So, let's deep dive. These are exciting times. A lot of focus on observability. So, a lot of data is getting collected from business to app to infra. A lot of cloud capacity is available. So, enough compute power available to create large, complex models and great enhancements in the space of AI/ML algorithms. So, a lot of algorithms are also available. So, everything is good. A lot of data, a lot of compute power, a lot of algorithms. So, naturally, we can generate lots of insights. But today there is a big gap between generating an AI powered insight and being able to use it to deliver value on ground. And there are various reasons for that. And through this talk, we are gonna go take you through this journey of what it takes to make AI usable, to generate, to deliver practical solutions using AI powered insights to deliver value on ground. So, why is this a problem? So first reason why AI powered insights are not being able to deliver value often is information fatigue. There are too many observations getting generated, making it very difficult to identify insights from the noise. Second problem is that there is a long journey to translate an analytical observation into a meaningful insight to an actionable recommendation. Let me take an example of um, you analyzing a, a metric time series and detecting an increasing trend in it. All right, it's a decent statistical observation where you are saying that, hey, I am analyzing this KPI and it is showing an increasing trend. But translating this statistical observation into the fact that, hey, this increasing trend is of a server's CPU utilization, which if crosses 90% is gonna create availability and performance problems. This server is already seeing server down events. This server is hosting a business critical application and has no backup server. And so we need to take corrective actions to either scale up or add more servers so that the application's performance and availability is not at risk. Translating a statistical observation of increasing trend in a metric to reaching a recommendation of eliminating an availability bottleneck to de-risk a business critical application is a big journey, and that journey is often not met by AI powered insights. And the third problem is lack of explainability and trust. We use neural networks, we use XGBoost algorithms, we use support vector machines, we use different types of predictors to generate an insight. But we do not give a proof of why we are saying what we are saying. And that leads to a trust deficit. And so the business teams are not willing to take that insight on its face value and apply it in production. So, how to solve this? AI powered insights. Now we are trying to define a definition of AI powered insight with this perspective in mind, that what does it take to use AI/ML to generate insights that can deliver value. So analyze diverse data sets using AI/ML algorithms to generate observations, insights, and recommendations that can be easily consumed by end user. Uh, Capture the keywords here, analyze diverse data sources, generate observations, insights, and recommendations, and make them easily consumable by the end user. Let's deep dive a bit into what it takes to generate AI powered insights. And of course, I will give you plenty of examples as I go through this deck. So, the first step is to collate data from diverse data sets, diverse data sources. So, taking my example of detecting an increasing trend in any KPI, any metric, right? So, instead of just limiting yourself to metric data and analyzing it to detect trends and patterns, augment it with events data to see that, hey, are you also seeing server down events for that server? Augment it with topology information to see that, hey, is this server serving any business critical application? Are there any backup servers for this server? So to do that, you need metric data, you need event data, you need topology data, you need change data, and so on and so forth. So that's the step one: collect data from diverse data sources. Step two is use this data to derive observations using an ensemble of algorithms. Our experience of last 8-10 years has been that while there are lots of AIML algorithms that can do very sophisticated things like detecting anomalies, detecting frauds, doing future predictions, simulation modeling, optimizations, and so on. But there is no single algorithm that fits all the needs. If you take forecasting as an example, there would be 20 most celebrated forecasting algorithms out there, but one algorithm works better for small data, one algorithm works better for big data, something works better when data has noise, something works better when data granularity is not uniform, and so on and so forth. So you need to create an ensemble of algorithms where you can automatically select the right algorithm for the right data, right use case. Now, all these algorithms also need to be tuned with the right parameters for them to work. But when you are creating an autonomous enterprise, you can't have a human expert sitting and tuning these parameters. So you need to create a layer that can self-tune these parameters. And finally, this also has to be in a continuous self-learning mode to adapt to changing behaviors, changing properties. So that's step two, to use an ensemble of algorithms to generate different types of observations. Step three is where you try to translate an observation into an insight. Taking my CPU saturation example, step three is a place where we understand that, hey, a metric is not a metric, it is CPU utilization of a server. And when it is looked together with availability issues of server along with the topology information of the server, that's when we start generating an insight that, hey, that increasing trend in a metric time series actually means server saturation leading to application availability issues. Right? And to do that, you need tools like domain knowledge models, you need data storytelling solutions. And finally, all this needs to be appended with explainable intelligence. Every insight, every observation, every recommendation that is getting generated cannot be a black box insight. If you want business users to actually use your observations, your insights, your recommendations, then you need to provide explainability of why you are recommending what you are recommending. And for that, you need to generate visual evidences, natural language explanations behind your thought process. And that's where the concept of explainable intelligence comes handy. I'll give you some examples in this session to demystify these concepts. So let's start with first example. I'm taking the example of intelligent alerts management. So even in intelligent alerts management, there are many aspects. I'm just taking one specific aspect to address the problem of eliminating alert fatigue by detecting false alerts. So almost all IT operations face this problem of getting lots of false alerts, um, and these false alerts create a lot of noise, wasted efforts, and more importantly, we risk losing out on genuine alerts in the middle of all this noise. So if somebody is trying to address the problem of eliminating false alerts, what is the first thing that they do? They analyze past log of all the alerts and try to identify which ones are legit, which ones are false, using some logic. Let's say the alerts on which nobody acts are false, or the duplicate of false alerts and everything else is legit. And then they do a basic pivot Pareto analysis to identify the heavy hitter alerts, heavy hitter entities, heavy hitter events where they see maximum false alerts. And at that point, they are happy. They are happy that they have reduced the analysis estate from 100,000 entities to probably 200 entities to further deep dive. And then they go and do Excel analysis to further take care. What more can be done using the power of AI here? Instead of only looking at alerts, let's augment this data with metrics as well. So let's take an example. I have an application. Whenever that application shows a high response time, I generate an alert. Now, I have designed this application such that its normal response time is 20 milliseconds. But when I set an alert, I set the alert such that whenever it takes more than 5 milliseconds, I generate an alert. Naturally, I keep getting alerts all the time. And the operations folks ignore it because they know that the normal behavior is 20 milliseconds. Right? Simple. To address this problem, in addition to looking at alerts, if I start looking at the historical data of application response time and I understand the trends, the patterns, its normal behavior, that is where I can connect the dots and say that, hey, this is the normal behavior. It typically takes 20 milliseconds. So I should not set a threshold of 5. Right. So my step one was just analyzing alerts to identify where I'm seeing most false alerts. Step two was augmenting that alert data with metric data to identify what is the normal behavior, what is the expected behavior from this application. Now, most of the times, statisticians stop at this place where they say that, hey, I have analyzed these metrics and I have generated these observations that there is a decreasing trend, there is a weekly pattern, there is a seasonality, and so on. And then we leave it. Ideally, it should be taken one step forward and we generate a concrete recommendation where we recommend alerting thresholds, where we say that, hey, on Monday to Thursday between 10 to 4, the normal behavior is 1 to 4 milliseconds. Between 6 to 10, the normal behavior is 2 to 8 milliseconds. By doing this, you are giving a concrete recommendation to the end user that, hey, I have analyzed your events and metrics, and I am giving you these recommendations that set these alerting thresholds so that you will not get false alerts for this specific application. All right. So we moved from observation to insight to a recommendation, but that is not enough. There is a massive learning experience when you actually apply these insights in practice and use your dynamic thresholds in real time to suppress alerts. When your solution goes to that level where you are applying your recommendations in real time, there are lots of learnings. Are the recommendations actually working? Am I really suppressing false alerts or not? How much false alerts am I able to suppress? Am I suppressing any legit alerts? Am I missing any false alerts? All these insights start coming in when you are trying to apply your thresholds in practice. And finally, you use all that to continuously adapt and learn as well, because no system stays the same all the time. There are version upgrades, there are infra saturations, there are workload changes, and so you need to continuously keep an eye that is the normal behavior correctly capturing the behavior, or you need to adapt to any changes. So this is a journey from analysis of historical data to applying it in real time to adapting with change. When you complete this entire cycle, then your AI powered insights start delivering value. Most of the times we stop at level 1, or at most we go to level 2. Going Doing these three additional steps is where you'll start getting value. And this is a very simple example of suppressing alerts. I can talk about alert aggregation, root cause analysis, triage of incidents, prediction of future alerts, prioritization of alerts, and so on and so forth. Let's take one more example where I want to make a slightly different point. This time I'm taking the example of business SLA predictions. So any AI/ML enthusiast learns forecasting, and one feels very powerful that hey, I can look into the future and I can predict future values with a fairly decent accuracies. All right. So let's say um, I am predicting how long it will take for me to perform the task of demand forecast. So I'm a retailer. I'm trying to predict my next week's demand, and I'm using historical data to assess how long it takes to do this task and predict how long it's gonna take to predict demand of next week. And this is the perfect conclusion from a statistics data mining space that hey, I'm able to predict that you will take 5 hours to finish the task of demand forecast. All right. But if you start seeing the bigger picture, where you understand that this demand forecast is one task in the bigger puzzle of, let's say, um, uh, planning replenishments for a retail store. All right. So today you have to decide what purchase orders you need to roll out to replenish your stock in your store. And to do that, demand forecast is just one of the steps. After that, you have to do many more steps where you had to create purchase orders, you had to identify vendors, you had to check budget, then you had to roll out invoices, and so on and so forth. So when you try to, instead of just predicting demand forecast, if you start fitting this demand forecast into this bigger piece of puzzle, try forecasting each and every step. And then instead of just giving an insight that, hey, it will take 5 hours to forecast demand, if you are able to tell that, hey, you will finish your entire replenishment activity by tonight 10 p.m., you are giving a lot more useful insight to a business user. There are some more things. So what happened? You moved from a component level observation to a system level insight. Instead of just doing a demand forecast for one task, you are now forecasting all these steps and doing a system level prediction that how long it will take for the entire replenishment to finish. Many more things start happening the moment you start looking at an entire system together. First thing is you are now able to adapt to changes because you are continuously now looking at the entire system. If any of the step gets delayed or starts late or fails, then you are quickly able to adapt your predictions that hey, right now everything looks fine, but now I have seen that your purchase orders are not getting generated on time, so you might not be able to finish your replenishment by 10 p.m. It might finish by 11:30 p.m. Right? So you're able to adapt the changes and adapt your predictions accordingly. What's more, now your outcome changes. Your AI is not telling you the forecast of one task or the total time taken for a process. Your AI solution starts talking business language, and now you start talking about SLA lookaheads, where you say that hey, I am going to tell you 4 hours ahead of time whether you will meet or miss your SLA, right? So if something fails, something gets delayed, then 4 hours ahead of time I'm able to tell that, hey, you will not finish your replenishment activity in time, so you might want to start working on your business continuity planning. System level insight helps you take even one more step, where you are not just telling the bad news, you can also recommend fixed recommendations that, hey, if these downstream activities could be finished earlier, then you might still be able to meet your SLA. So that's the second message I wanted to pass, that when we are looking at insights, do not look at component level isolated observations. Look at the system as a whole, and your insights start making more and more meaning to the business user, because your outcome stops being statistical, it starts becoming more businessy. I'm going to take one more example of cloud spend optimization. Now these days everybody is moving to cloud, and uh, analyzing how much is my cloud spend, what is going to be my forecast of spend, where am I spending more, where can I optimize, are like some of the common questions that most of us ask. And how do we typically go about it? A natural first step is to do top spend analysis, do basic pivot paretos to identify where are we spending maximum dollars. um, and that is a classic heavy hitter analysis. But most of the times this heavy hitter analysis is very misleading, because it only shows the top key places, and probably it is expected to spend that much on those resources which come on the top. The real anomalies, the real opportunities might lie in the middle or the lower band, where they are not supposed to be spending that much, but they are kind of these anomalies are hidden behind these larger heads of heavy hitters. So, what we do is, instead of just looking at top spend analysis, you go and start looking at spend anomaly detection, where you first create groups of similar resources that are supposed to be behaving similar, like they have same config, same subscription plans, same location, and so on. But yet you are seeing an anomaly that, hey, this resource is very similar to these 50 other resources, but the spend here is way way higher than other spends. Such anomalies can be detected only when you move from a basic lever of top spend analysis to more sophisticated levers of clustering, classification, anomaly detection, and so on. So that's the second step, that you start detecting spend anomalies. And this is where, again, you need to collate multiple data sources to characterize normal behavior and then detect anomalies. Then once you have identified opportunities where you want to correct, you first thing you do is go from hindsight to foresight, where you forecast and try to see that how much spend you are likely to make in these anomalous areas in the coming future, and then finally use all this insight and hindsight and foresight to recommend spend optimization opportunities. And this is where you do cost benefit risk side effect analysis to recommend what are the resources which could be downgraded, or which could be scheduled turn on turn off, which could be moved to reserve instances, and so on and so forth. Right, so that's my third message, to create a journey of an insight from statistical observations to insights to recommendations. Now, AI provides ample opportunities to improve various aspects of your IT operations: cloud cost optimization, alert management, incident management, compliance management, business health monitoring, process management, performance and capacity management, procurement optimizations, and many, many more. While you can use AI to transform your IT operations, we all face this challenge, that how mature am I in using AI to transform IT operations? Am I mature enough? I'm really doing everything. Are there any gaps? Can I do more? These are some of the common questions that we face to assess how mature is my AI in managing my IT operations. To address this, we present intelligence maturity levels to assess how mature you are in managing your IT operations. So, I'm going to present 9 levels of maturity. Um, the first 2 levels are where we assess, these are like fundamental behavior analysis of your enterprise, right? The first level is you take every entity in isolation and analyze its behavior. This could be a server, a disk, an application, a business function, a network switch, a user, anything. And you analyze what is the expected normal behavior of that entity. And this is where you analyze changes, you analyze patterns, you analyze outliers, and so on and so forth. The second level of insight is, which is still behavior analysis, but now you are not looking at one insight, one entity in isolation. You are looking at a collection of entities. And this is where you start identifying that, hey, all these servers failed together. Whenever this disk fills beyond 80%, then this database starts slowing down. Um, every time there is an increasing trend in the database response time, I see URL failures on a certain application. So such kind of insights start popping up when you do collective behavior analysis. These are first two levels of maturity, right? And this is where correlations, association rule minings, clusterings, use segmentations, and all these concepts come at play. The next level of maturity is where you start looking at these insights with a specific lens. A lens of capacity analysis, or a lens of risk analysis, a lens of change analysis, a lens of compliance and security, a lens of availability, and so on and so forth. I have just listed three, but there could be many more. But the main message is that next three levels are about using this entire analysis with a specific purpose of improving capacity or reducing risk and so on, right? And that's where you use the first and level second level insights to derive interesting insights and recommendations to either capacity augmentation or rationalization, or to identify problem management opportunities, or to assess change induced risks and so on. Now, so far we are only looking at the past to identify insights and opportunities. The next level of maturity comes when you are using these insights along with real time feeds to take actions in real time. And this is where event management and incident management use cases come in, right? So sixth and seventh level of maturity is where you are getting insights to, let's say, suppress false alerts, group related alerts, prioritize alerts, or in case of incident management, using insights to automatically identify the root cause of an incident, automatically identify a fix, and take corrective actions. And now the next two level of insights are about, so far we are looking at the past or the present, but if we start using AI to predict future, then that's where the eighth and ninth level of insights come into picture, where you use AI to predict and prevent future events. Not just that, you also use AI to assess the impact of possible future changes that you're going to see. Let's say you're expecting a merger or an acquisition, you're expecting increase in workload, you are expecting a change in your cloud strategy. Assessing an impact of all these to plan for growth would be the ninth level insight. This is where simulations, concepts like what if analysis, simulated annealing, and all these things come into play, optimization algorithms, and so on. So this is how we have tried to lay out 9 levels of maturity for you to assess how well are you using AI to manage your IT operations. You assess for yourself, identify gaps, and find opportunities where you can use AI. Now, so far, we are only talking how um, data can be used and AI can be used to derive these insights. But we strongly believe that true power of AI can be harnessed only when it is used in conjunction with natural intelligence. And that is where the next level of maturity comes in. And so, for next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about augmented intelligence. With generative AI giving so much power to us, we can create new metaphors of augmented intelligence where AI can work in conjunction with natural intelligence to create a lot more powerful solutions. Let me talk in the parlance of IT operations. At Digitate, in our journey of autonomous operations, we work on these areas. We try to automatically learn context, manage alerts, resolve incidents, perform actions, and optimize proactively. Now, at each of these steps, today we need a human in the loop. We can't do all these things on our own. When we are learning context, we need humans to help us define technology models. Model of an oracle, model of an autosys, model of a business application. When we are resolving incidents, we still need humans to handle exceptions. There would be use cases, there could be incidents that we don't know how to resolve, and we'll pass them to humans for manual resolution. When we are performing actions, we need humans to write code for atomic actions. Of course, we have a way to stitch together these atomic actions to create automation resolution procedures, but atomic actions are still coded by humans. And for proactive optimization, while we can use AI to generate insights, generate recommendations, but you still need a human intervention to do validation, at times to do ambiguity resolution, to do tie breaking, and so on. With Gen AI coming into play, there is still a human in the loop, but the experience is a lot more different, and efforts are much reduced. So, for example, domain knowledge model creation. Now we can use a knowledge accelerator which is powered by GenAI, which can automatically create these models. The job of the human would be to verify the content that is being created by GenAI, and also to give the right prompts for the GenAI to create that knowledge. Um, for for cases where we need humans to do resolution for exceptions, with GenAI, we are able to create a collaborative resolution environment where humans and machines work together. Whenever there is an anomaly where machine is not able to resolve, human comes in. The bot asks just the right questions to get the minimum information that is needed to resolve. And every time human interacts, the bot learns more and more and more, and next time asks fewer questions. Instead of humans writing code, GenAI can be used to create a code accelerator, which can automatically generate code. The job of humans would be to verify that code and pass the right prompt so that the right code gets generated. And for proactive optimizations, again, GenAI can be used to create an intelligent conversation engine where instead of humans skimming through thousands of insights, we provide GenAI powered conversation engine where humans can just ask insights in simple natural language like what are my high risk applications, why are they high risk, what can I do to prevent them, how much will it cost me, what are its side effects. Just simple conversations would make this life much easier than humans skimming through thousands of insights. So all these things would be possible with generative AI. There is another way to look at this whole game. At the center, there is AI powered operations with the focus for model driven intelligent automation and ability to combine AI and automation. And you need natural intelligence at the first mile and last mile of this journey. First mile, where you need human intelligence to capture factual knowledge, situational knowledge, operational knowledge. And the last mile, you need involvement of human experts to guide you in exceptions, to consume insights, and so on and so forth. Now, Gen AI can transform the first mile and last mile both. On the first mile, it can transform with the levers like code accelerator, test accelerator, domain knowledge accelerator. So you can use the power of large language models to automatically generate code, to automatically generate test cases, to automatically generate domain knowledge models. And you use the power of GenAI also to reimagine the user experience through intelligent conversation engine, by creating plain language summaries of incidents and problems, by creating collaborative resolution environments, and so on. So that's another way to look at how generative AI can transform the first mile and last mile of autonomous operations. I want to touch upon some very useful tools that we have found very handy while creating AI powered insights. First is data quality assessment. One of the biggest problems in data driven decision making is the data quality. We spend days and days of time analyzing things only to realize that the data was not of the right quality. So tools for automated data quality assessment come very handy, where you can quantify volume, velocity, variety, veracity, detect gaps, identify, give recommendations for quality improvements. Second very useful tool is small data analysis. There is a lot of work on big data analysis, but in reality, there are many rare events which are a lot more important and need analysis. For example, um, high priority incidents are not too many, they are few, and you need small data analysis to analyze such rare events. So that's where concepts of data inversion, data augmentation come handy. Explainable intelligence is another very useful tool where you need ways to re-engineer an insight that has been derived by a black box algorithm, use white box algorithms to augment the black box solutions and generate visual and textual evidences of your insights. Automated context mining is another new and hot area in the space of data mining and machine learning, where if you don't get all the data about schedules and dependencies and entities and constraints, then you can use concepts of process flow mining to automatically mine this information from logs. Self-tuning, self-learning algorithms is another hot area, and data storytelling is another hot area where you use concepts of insight aggregations, insight chains to simplify the process of insight consumption. This is my last slide where I talk of where are we headed. So the journey of AI powered insights has many hops. You have to ensure that your insights are explainable. Then you have to bring human in the loop to enable conversations. Then you have to enter the space of augmented intelligence where you can do collaborative learning. Make all the insights trustworthy by ensuring fairness, benevolence, accountability, and all this would eventually lead to operational intelligence, where the insights do not just stay insights; they translate into actionable recommendations and actually deliver effectiveness. That's all about today's session. Hope you got something out of it. That's it from my side. VS, over to you.
Yes, Maitreya, Dr. Maitreya, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that. And Maitreya, there is one question in the chat. I think we can answer that question, and we are almost at the end of the session anyway. I'll just read the question, see whether if we can do it right now or we can do it later. So there's a question from Jeffrey Tadican of Micron. He's asking, SaaS customers will have various concerns around the risk of data processing, data retention, model training, and resultant data set data ownership associated with the use of fourth party AI, ML, and Gen AI. So he's talking about the fourth party, by the way. It's not the third party like Digitate, fourth party. Are AIOps SaaS solutions typically utilizing third party Gen AI solutions? That means the fourth party for the customer in their platform. And if so, how the SaaS platform handles customer risks around the fourth party data exposure?
Yeah, yeah. Um, Jeffrey, a very valid question, and everybody is struggling to give a definitive answer to this question, because when it comes to Gen AI solutions, even we are still figuring out the most effective way of ensuring explainable, trustworthy intelligence that can be delivered from Gen AI. I don't have a definitive answer for this, but hopefully over time we all will figure out a most effective way of using Gen AI kind of solutions, especially in the SaaS space. But in the meantime, while the legal solutions come handy, some tools that really help in this space is ensuring explainability, assigning a certain level of confidence, providing lineage of why you are saying what you are saying, provide putting enough risk and security guardrails around your Gen AI solutions to ensure certain certainty about trustworthiness and giving some guarantees about the correctness of the insight. It might not be 100%, but these are some best practices that we are trying to use while dealing with such solutions.
Thank you. Thank you, Maitreya. Thanks a lot. Okay, folks, I think we have reached at the allotted time for this webinar. We are extended beyond that time. And I really want to thank all of you for joining us today on this Valentine's Day. Really appreciate that. And as Saili must have mentioned that earlier, there will be, Saili, are we sending I think Maitreya Nathu and his team, they have created an ebook on Gen AI. And Sally, are we sending that book to the attendees? Are they getting that ebook?
Yes, it's already there in the attachments. I think folks can download it. In fact, yes, your AIML primer also has been attached for people to read through.
Okay, good, good. Thank you very much. So I think, folks, there are two ebooks that are being attached. One is the AI Machine Learning Primer, the book that, and a small ebook that I had written almost 2 years back. And the latest ebook that Maitreya Nathu and his team has written about Gen AI. So please go through the books, and I think if in case you have any questions, please definitely get in touch with us. We're more than happy to answer your questions. And as you can see, Maitreya was very much animated, and he is extremely excited about this topic. So he is more than happy to answer any questions you might have in this thing. Once again, thank you very much, folks. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Maitreya. Appreciate your being here on the call. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye bye.
Thanks, Ali.